YouTube is crowded. Everyone is here. And the truth is, even if you're making great content, it's getting harder and harder to get attention. Lately, I've noticed something kind of unexpected. Some of the smartest creators I know, people with solid YouTube channels and real traction here, they've started shifting part of their energy somewhere else. They're posting on LinkedIn. So in this video, I want to break down what is going on LinkedIn and why it might be one of the best places for you to show up next. So LinkedIn has changed a lot, especially when it comes to content. It has quietly become a place where creators and athletes and artists, they all talk about what they're doing and building right now, whether that's a business, a new project, a client offer, whatever. Over the past year, I worked closely with creators on LinkedIn. I watched how they grow, how they communicate and connect with each other, build trust, and then turn it into income. And here's something that most people don't realize. On LinkedIn, you don't compete with millions of creators like on YouTube or any other platform. In fact, the ratio is kind of wild. Just think about it. YouTube has around 2.6 billion users and over 65 million creators. That's around one creator for every 40 viewers. On LinkedIn, there are over 1 billion users, but only around 3 million people post regularly, which is one creator for every 276 viewers. If you are a content creator, this kind of ratio is gold. It means way less noise and way more visibility. On LinkedIn, it's not about going viral. It's about being seen by the right people. Kind of people who actually want to work with you, collaborate, and connect with you. Another thing that makes LinkedIn different is actually how long your content lives. On most platforms like Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, when you post something and it doesn't take off like in a few hours, it's basically gone. On LinkedIn, your posts keep showing up for days, sometimes even for weeks. It actually became a kind of running joke on LinkedIn. You read a post, you scroll up, you check the date and realize it's from 17 days ago. But honestly, it's a win for creators because it means one good post can keep working for you long after you hit publish. On YouTube, Instagram, and even TikTok, you can get a ton of views. But a lot of this traffic is kind of random. On LinkedIn, it's different. You are not reaching passive viewers, you're reaching people who run businesses, manage budgets, build teams, and do collaborations. People who are actually looking for others to work with. I've seen creators land brand deals, clients, and even speaking gigs just because the right person saw their post at the right time. One of the wildest things to me is that most creators from YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok still ignore LinkedIn. Think it's boring, outdated, or too corporate. And yeah, the UI is not great. It's not exactly the coolest app out there, but because of that, very few people are actually posting there, which means, again, less noise and more visibility for those who show up. Creators who are posting, they're starting to get real growth. Here's one example. A creator who started posting regularly on LinkedIn just a few months ago. You can see how quickly the numbers took off. And here's another, how some creators split their content across platforms. LinkedIn is either number 1 or number 2, ahead of Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. When it comes to content, you don't need to reinvent anything on LinkedIn. You don't need studio lighting. You don't need to be super polished. What works on LinkedIn in 2025 is simple, insightful, and honest content. Like videos where you talk about how you build something, lessons from working with a client or other creators, or a breakdown of how you approach your creative process. Think helpful more than viral. And don't overthink the production process. I've seen iPhone selfie videos that make more numbers because they feel more direct and honest. And to be clear, I'm not saying that you should leave YouTube. It is still the best place for discoverability and depth. But if you're serious about growing as a creator, not just in views, but in business and partnerships and new opportunities, the LinkedIn is really worth showing up for. You don't have to be a LinkedIn expert. You just need to start posting. And if you want help or advice figuring out how to do that, just leave a comment below or message me. I will help however I can. And in the meantime, make sure to check my previous video about LinkedIn Screen Share app. It's kind of fun. See you next time.